welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hey, for the first time, subscribe, become a member of the Slashed Squad. We just hit 10,000! This is a moment I've been waiting for 5 years, so thank you so much for each and every one of you for supporting me, basically giving me a job, and in general just listening to me blather on about makeup video after video. Like I said in all of my videos leading up to hitting 10,000, we are going to be doing an international giveaway full of high-end and budget beauty. That will probably be coming next weekend. I just have to actually gather everything up. So if you haven't subscribed already, you can still get in on that by subscribing. If you are already subscribed, hit the bell icon for notifications. That way you will know when the giveaway goes live. So I had this palette sitting in a pile of beauty products that I was planning on trying out for several weeks now, and in the last week or so I was like, okay, I need to start thinking about what I want to do for my bridal makeup, and I knew that I wanted to do a matte neutral look. So I was looking at some of the matte palettes that I had, or just like the mattes within some of my favorite palettes, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I wish I had this shade, I wish I had this shade. And then I spotted this sitting next to my desk. This is Ulta Beauty's newest palette under their own house brand called the Matte Neutrals. I just hit myself in the face. So I was like, well, I've liked their other palettes before. I did a tutorial and a review of their Rose Gold palette a couple years ago when it came out, so why not just try this one? So I opened it up, I used it, and I was like, oh my god, I might actually wear this to my wedding. So I think this might be Ulta Beauty's fourth palette in their own range. They have the rose gold one, they have just the gold one, and then they had come out with the jewel tone one several months ago, and then this is their latest one, Matte Neutrals. And to me, I just think like an all matte look looks very classy and chic, and you can do a lot with it. So I was very excited when I opened this up and just saw these gorgeous shades. So this palette is only $20, and because it is the Ulta Beauty brand, they often have sales on their own brand, and you can use all of the circular coupons on this brand because it's not considered prestige. So what I love first, just looking at this palette, and you know, aside from the gorgeous matteness, we have a nice range of undertones in here. So we've got a lot of cool shades up in the front, more of the lighter shades, and then we do have a nice range of warmer tones in the darker shades. Now for me as a matte lover, just because a palette is completely matte doesn't mean it's already won my heart 100%, even though it's kind of like halfway there. In my experience, I feel like a lot of budget and drugstore brands, and I would consider Ulta Beauty like a drugstore brand, or at least the same tier, I've found that a lot of them have a hard time formulating matte shadows that are pigmented and go on evenly and blend out easily. So I was very cautious going into testing this palette, because even though I was completely love struck by the appearance, I was like, okay, hopefully they perform as pretty as they look in the pan. Spoiler alert, they do. So before we go into anything else, I'm just gonna go ahead and do swatches for you on my arm. Our first shade is Amy, which is this light beige. Next is Jamie, which is a light taupe shade. Then we have Ashley, which is a light brown, kind of like coffee creamer brown. Then we have Tiffany, which is a nice medium brown. Then we have Kira, which might be my favorite shade in the whole palette. Then we have Courtney, which is a rich chocolate brown. Starting the second row, we have Jacqueline, which is a bone color. Then we have Julie, which is a ballet pink. Jen is like a mauve taupe. It kind of has those warm undertones. Renee is a straight up pretty purpley mauve. Kristen is a nice silvery gray color. And then with Cora, we have that rich matte black that it would not be complete without. And I will say that they are really smooth and very buttery to the touch, and they blend out so nicely. I've done a few color combinations and they all blend into each other really nicely without looking muddy, which is very important. I will also say that because the shadows are so soft, there does tend to be a little bit of kickback within the pans of shadow, and it'll get a little bit powdery on top. Let me zoom in and kind of show you the state of my palette right now. So I don't know if you can see that, but you can definitely see some of these shades have a lot of powder around them. That tends to happen, especially if I'm using a fluffier brush. But for me, that's not really that big of an issue. Usually I'll just kind of like blow away the extra dust and it's not that big of a deal. So now I'm gonna cut and show you how I did my eye look today, which is kind of like a warm neutral smoky eye that I've been wearing probably the most out of this palette. So first I took Amy and put that all over the lid as a base shade. Then I used a fluffy blending brush with Kira and used that as my transition shade in and above the crease. Then I patted Courtney into my outer corner and blended that out as well. And I used Jacqueline as my brow bone highlight as well as my inner corner highlight. And Julie went all over the lid. I also brought Kira and Courtney down onto the lower lash line before tightlining, adding wing liner, and topping off with mascara. This has definitely been my go-to look out of this palette because I feel like it's very easily day to night, you know, daytime neutral colors but nighttime glam with the winged eyeliner and whatnot. So yesterday I did my eyes, actually this exact same look, probably around, I want to say 10 a.m. and by 10:30, no not even, I got home at like 11, it looked almost like I had just put my makeup on. I only noticed a little bit of creasing right near my inner corner, but it was like honestly maybe a millimeter of creasing and I just kind of like patted it and it was fine. Everything else looked just as pigmented as when I first put it on. The blending was just as like seamless as when I just put it on, because that's another thing that I notice a lot with kind of subpar matte formulas is that the blending looks weird after a while, like it fades all wrong. So this I was very happy with how it wore throughout the day. The only gripe that I have really about this palette is that there's no mirror and it's a little bit thick, so it's not the most travel friendly, and honestly this would be my 100% go-to travel palette if it had a mirror. So the Ulta Beauty Matte Neutrals palette, I am personally dubbing it a must-have. I think everybody needs a really good collection of matte shadows. This is the perfect, you know, range of mattes that you will be using constantly. So like I said, you can pick this up at Ulta Beauty for $20. I will leave the link below. So here is your to-do list today, besides picking this palette up. Smash the like button, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the little bell for notifications because that way you will know when I post that international giveaway. Click the bell, click the bell, click the bell. Am I an annoying YouTuber yet? You just hit 10,000 like 2 days ago, Miranda. Calm down. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for being part of the 10K slashed squad. I make videos every week and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!